now we're gonna go full throttle. Ooh. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're gonna be going over the all-new 2021 Land Rover Range Rover SV Autobiography with the longer wheelbase. But first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to the Land Rover here of downtown Salt Lake for giving me some time with this SV Autobiography. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's get into the video. Under the hood, we have a 5-liter supercharged V8 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Power outputs are 557 horsepower and then 516 pound-feet of torque, with fuel economy being 13 around town and then 19 on the highway. Now let's go over the front end of the SV Autobiography. So first off, we've got our Range Rover logo front and center, and then we have this full chrome grille, which I think looks absolutely fantastic from a design perspective. I love how they've integrated the Land Rover logo into it. And then coming over here, we've got the full LED lights with the LED accent light, parking sensors all down below with more silver trim here, and then also around the venting. And other than that, that is everything for the front end. Coming around the side here, we've got two 75mm tires wrapped around 22-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear. This also does come with air suspension. And then as for the design on the wheels, I think it's just perfect. It matches the rest of the theme of the car just perfectly. Notice you've got the parking sensor there on the side, and then I love this silver trim here on the side. And then you have the L, because this is the longer wheelbase and how it continues all along the side there. Notice the mirror's been blacked out, and then you have the blacked out pillars, and then obviously the windows and everything is all blacked out, so it kind of makes it look like the roof is just completely floating. But other than that, here's your full side view. Now let's pop here into the rear. So first off, you've got this really nice carpeting here all along the tailgate, and then we do have a 12-volt right there. And then notice the cargo cover has stitching. That is just awesome attention to detail. And then this is to fold down the seats. This is for the air suspension in the rear to raise or lower the back end, so it makes getting things in and out of this a lot easier. And then notice all of the extra leather that comes. You've got like the pillow seat covers and everything, just awesome. And then we've got all of our floor mats right here. And then you do have this little button right here which actually raises the tailgate portion. And then if you want to lower the rest, then you just press that and, well, you're good to go. Now let's go over the rest of the rear. Let's start with the taillights here. So first off, notice that you've got the turn signal there at the lower portion. I love the design here on the taillights. And then I love how clean this is on the back end. You've got a Range Rover logo, and then you have an SV Autobiography, and that's it. They just make it so that it's just really clean. There's not a ton of badges or logos all over the place, which again, I just really like. Parking sensors all along the bottom. You do have a receiver hitch, and then you've got the coverings over the exhaust tips, which I think look really good. And other than that, that's everything for the back end. Now let's go over the door panel here in the rear. So first off, you've got the beautiful brown leather here at the top, and then notice it continues down below, and then it's all over the armrest, perforated leather down below that. Beautiful wood trim. You've got all of your seat controls here for the back passenger, your door lock and unlock, window control right here, and then you've got a couple speakers for the sound system. And yeah, just, I mean, from a door panel perspective, craziness. Now let's go over a few more things here in the back. So first off, these seats are fantastic. You've got the pillow headrests here, and then just look at the design here with all of the leather. The bolstering here is just perfect, just looks and feels really nice. You've got your SV Autobiography right there. And yeah, that's kind of the initial part. I'm feeling lazy today. I really don't want to reach over and close the door. Good thing I don't have to. Now, yes, there is an infotainment system back here. Well, kind of an infotainment system. So first off, you can control the seats. You do have the heated and cooled seats back here that you can control all of that. And then there's the climate controls, and then even navigation. Like, I don't know. I think that's pretty neat that you've got all of that with a little infotainment system back here. And yes, there's a screen for, and this is behind the driver and then also behind the passenger as well. There's even stitching on this. That's so cool. The back of the seat storage area stitching. And then if we press this, voila, more storage right there, which is also awesome. And then we've got a really nice clock here. You've got some vents, and then beautiful wood trim, but we've got more storage. You can charge a bunch of devices right there. Obviously, you don't need to close it yourself. Everything is automated, and then just look at all the beautiful wood trim. And then you can adjust the seats and the climate controls from this area, so there's two different ways to do all of that. Now, you already saw the controls to close the doors, and notice we've got this, which actually lowers down, a champagne cooler. I mean, you could use it for whatever you want, orange juice, anything, but yes, you have a champagne cooler in the back, which I think that is just so sweet. And notice that the passenger side door has all of the same controls over there. We do have the center console, which has a couple of cup holders, and even the lid portion is covered in beautiful leather, which I think is really nice from a material standpoint, and there's beautiful stitching all around. But if we lift it up, you're like, okay, what is all of this? Because you have those two pieces of wood trim that are separated, and then you have all this. Well, there's some controls in the back for that. So we've got the control here, so we're going to press that button, and that's going to open this up. So notice the wood trim kind of goes away, and then we have the tray that'll pop open. And then it has some instructions here on the tray. And then notice the wood trim closes again. So with the tray, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to do this with one hand because you have to unlock it. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna be able to. Okay, there we go. So I've got that portion. And then I think, okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to do it with my other hand and then I'll show you guys. You all already saw the instructions, but we've got this tray right here. You've got the cup holder there on the side, and then you can slide the tray in or out wherever you want it. But I mean, you literally could have the tray here and then you could have something on the screen playing like while you're getting driven in the back of your Range Rover. This is cool. Now here's the door panel in the front. So again, you've got the same beautiful leather and wood trim, and then the perforated leather down below. Window controls here at the top. You've got all of your seat adjustments, memory seats, all that fun stuff, and then more speakers for the sound system, and then same plaque right there. And then we've got the pillow headrests here for the front passengers with the beautiful stitching here, and just look at how nice all of that is. Pedal layout just down below. You've got that for the rear hatch, and then look at that nice wood trim right there. But there's one more look before you pop in. Now here is the steering wheel in the SV Autobiography. You've got beautiful wood trim at the top and at the bottom. And then I love the contrast between the black leather and then the airbag cover, which has the brown leather. I think it looks really nice aesthetically. Cruise control on this side. Got the controls for the center stack, which if you press the menu button, then that changes what you can see there in the center. Paddle shifters here in the back, which look and feel really nice. You've got the winch wiper stock, and then you've got the turn signal / light stock, and that's all for the steering wheel. Here is the center gauge cluster here. So first off, just like all of the other Range Rovers, you've got the little controls here that you can go through that let you see a bunch of different menus here in the center. And then you've got the full digital readout for the gauges, which I think look perfect. I love how it says SV right there. This does have a bunch of different drive modes, just like all the other Range Rovers. So we've got an eco mode, we've got a dynamic program, and then aside from that, you've got a comfort, and then we've got a grass, gravel, snow, and then we do have the mud and the ruts. We've got the sand, and then finish things off, we've got the rock crawl, and then I can just press the button down, and then it goes back into automatic mode. Here's the center infotainment system. First off, if we pop it into reverse, the backup camera will pop up. You've got trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel. There's another way to access the camera. So if we go to the home tab right here, notice you have the camera icon, and then that'll give us that bird's eye view. And then if we press the camera button, we can see a bunch of different viewpoints. So you've got like the front, you can go to the rear, you can go to the sides, whatever you want to see. It's got it. We've got the rest of the infotainment system. First off, response time is absolutely fantastic. It does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and notice you can even deploy the side steps. You got the ambient lighting. I love the seats. If you press that button right there, then you can recline the seats, and you can do it all from the screen, which I don't know. I think that's really neat, but solid infotainment system. Now down below here, we've got more controls. So here are the front seats. You can control the heated and ventilated function, and then you've got the climate part that you can control. And then if you go to vehicle, this is all the different drive modes you can go through. And then it does have the trick climate controls where if we push it in, then it'll show us the seat icon. I just love how there's dual purpose, and I love just the material use here on the controls themselves. Looks really nice. Now here's our magical shifter. Turn it off, it goes into hiding mode. Turn it back on and it pops up. It's really neat. I love the feel of it, just beautiful in terms of the design, but it just feels really nice as well. Got more wood trim right here, and then you have your SV Autobiography plaque. Stability control, that's your off-road cruise control. You've got the air suspension right here, and then for the drive mode, just push that up. And then if you want to go back into auto, push it back down. Hill descent control, and then we've got our low range, and then you do have the parking brake right there. And then here is the center console, which does have the refrigerator in it. Definitely a nice function. And then notice you've got a little charging area in the front portion, and then just beautiful leather here on the outside. And then coming over here, we do have the glove box, which you've got the top portion that's kind of spring loaded. And you can use, I mean, it's got a decent amount of storage space, but it's not crazy big. But the bottom glove box, on the other hand, is absolutely massive. And look at this. This is for the owner's manual, and it's the most beautiful leather ever for the owner's manual. Something that you might look at every so often, but you rarely look at, and they still made it top-notch material-wise. Now here at the top, we've got the controls for the full panoramic sunroof. Tons of leather, so you've got perforated leather, beautiful leather with stitching, and then even leather sun visors with the Alcantara on the other side. Just absolutely amazing, and I just love how the whole top end has been covered in leather. Now here's our window sticker for the SV Autobiography. I love how it's called vintage tan seats. I mean, I guess I can kind of see how they're vintage. They look super nice and modern to me, but I mean, I don't know. They named it, not me. But anyways, feel free to freeze a frame on any portions. You can read all over all of the standard equipment that comes with this. This does have a few options like that leather headliner, which is a $4,500 option, for example, but you can see the base MSRP. And then here's the total MSRP, $222,460. Let's take her out and see how she drives. Talk about visibility here in the, we're gonna call this the Mac Daddy of Range Rovers because it's the fully loaded one. But anyways, let's talk about visibility. So visibility of the hood's really good. And again, hopefully you can see the heads-up display. There's your visibility through both the mirrors. I do have blind spot monitoring. And then here's throughout the rest of the rear, which is absolutely fantastic. You've got a bunch of really large windows, and look at those seats in full recline mode. I wish I could be back there, but I've got to drive this, and let's set off. So we are setting off here in the SV Autobiography, and first off, let's talk about the road noise and the ride quality. So first off, from a ride quality perspective, it is very, very smooth. It just like goes over everything, and it's just such a smooth experience. If you guys hear a weird noise, I'm not sure where that's coming from. It's kind of like a weird stack noise. It's not my camera this time. Bought a new microphone and everything, so that's not the problem. I can actually hear it, so it's kind of, I don't know what that is. But anyways, really smooth, really nice from a ride quality perspective. And you know what I should do next time? I should actually bring someone here to review the car with me so they can drive me around, because this really is a show for a vehicle. Like, the back seat is where it is at. The front seat's really comfortable, but with the TVs and the reclining and everything in the back seat, that's the place to be. So I should probably have someone drive me in this next time I review one. But yeah, definitely a luxury vehicle. It's so smooth. You completely get taken out of the outside environment from a noise perspective as well. Like, everything about this is just screams luxury. So let's get up and move just a little bit more here in the SV Autobiography. And yeah, just so much torque. And this is just in the normal mode too. Like, this isn't in any sort of like crazy sporty driving mode, aka the dynamic program, as they put it, because we have to be fancy and call it a program. But let's see how the turn-in is. Yeah, turn-in's really nice with it. It doesn't feel massive or anything like that. It actually feels smaller than it is. That person's like halfway out into the road. Some people, well, at least you guys can kind of see you can maneuver around stuff super easy, not a problem whatsoever. We've got someone just jaywalking across the road. The stuff that happens here in downtown Salt Lake is crazy. Every single day, there's always something weird that happens on camera. But yeah, just really nice. Throttle modulation is really good as well. And, well, let's get our full-blown acceleration here with the SV. So that was in the automatic mode right there, and that was kind of like feathering into the throttle. You guys might be a little bit confused. You're like, why doesn't it go crazy? Well, don't worry. Go over into the S mode. Pop it into the actual, we'll do automatic mode so you guys can kind of see. So if you hold down the plus paddle, it'll pop it back into automatic mode. So now we're gonna go full throttle. Ooh! It's definitely quick. But unlike the SVR, it isn't crazy from an exhaust perspective. Like, you definitely hear the V8, but it's not crazy loud in the interior. And that's definitely a huge benefit with this SV Autobiography, because you still get the power, you still get the acceleration. But if you don't want the crazy loud annoying noise because you want a luxury car experience, you go for this one. And it also makes sense because, again, this is kind of like a chauffeur type vehicle because it has such big back seats and all the luxury features back there. And so you can imagine if someone's getting driven around, they don't really care to have a big, loud, rumbly V8. They just want something that can get up and move, but they don't necessarily care to have something that's going to be crazy loud or anything like that. But let's get into setting things up here with the SV Autobiography. So first off, from an exterior aesthetics perspective, it is a little bit understated compared to like an SVR or something like that, but I actually really like that. Again, I'm assuming if someone's going to be buying something like this, they want it to fly under the radar because they're going to get driven around in it. And so that completely makes sense to me that it doesn't have crazy styling, right? But it's still a very, very nice looking SUV. And you can definitely tell like this is something crazy when you look at it because you're like, just the proportions and everything, and it's just good looking. Interior wise, it is top notch. This is by far the nicest interior that I have ever reviewed on the channel. Nothing compares to it. Just perfect from an interior perspective. And then if we go from the interior to the driving and everything, it drives really nice. It drives like an amazing luxury car. Interior is great. Driving is great. Definitely drives like a really nice luxury car. The back seat's amazing. And even if you're not going to use this as a chauffeur vehicle, even if you just want to have a really nice, good purpose luxury vehicle, then this would be a great option to go for. And so, yeah, if you're looking for literally, again, as of all the vehicles I've reviewed, the nicest luxury vehicle you can buy, you have to check out this SV Autobiography. It is just crazy and I love it. Now that's going to sum things up for our video on this 2021 Land Rover Range Rover SV Autobiography in the long wheelbase. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Land Rover here in downtown Salt Lake for giving me some time with the SV Autobiography. Check out their inventory and link below. I'll see all of you in the next video.